So the Alpine Driver lineup saga has finally come to an end. Pierre Gasly has been announced as the Alpine Driver to take the seat of Fernando Alonso. Gasly said it was a clear call and definitely very attractive. He said it was now the right time for him to move and take his career steps on his own. He's been a part of the Red Bull driver lineup since his start in Formula 1. And Alpine were equally very happy to get an experienced driver and very fast, two of the criteria that they were looking to meet, said Safnauer from Alpine. Now, Pierre Gasly, he's only 26 years old, but he's got a vast amount of experience in Formula 1 with 100 races, and he's got a win under his belt, so he's got the speed. Him staying on at AlphaTauri didn't really make much sense to me. He's had his opportunity in the Red Bull first team. Unfortunately, it didn't go too well for him there, and I didn't see him then making that step back up again into the Red Bull first team. And so for him to move and go on his own was the right move. Alpine, for me, is the right team for him. It's an all-French outfit for next year with Ocon and Gasly lineup for Alpine, which is Renault. And so I think it'll be the right move. Let's see how that works out. Alpine have been definitely very fast this season. They're now in 4th place in the Constructors' title in a battle with McLaren, and we've seen their performances recently with the hands of Alonso and Ocon in that car, and some good points in the last few races, outshining the McLaren. So they've definitely got a fast car. Will they build on that next year? Let's see how Pierre does. But I think he's his best chance of getting further up the field than he has been in the AlphaTauri recently. Now, who's going to replace him at AlphaTauri? Now, Red Bull were only going to release Pierre Gasly from the seat if they could sign Colton Herta, the IndyCar driver from America. However, the FIA said they won't budge on their super license points criteria. They said it's a set criteria, they won't budge that, and Red Bull's Helmut Marko was clearly very disappointed in the FIA stance with that, saying, look, they don't seem to understand the market conditions, and it's a booming market in America. We've got 3 races next year, and to get an American driver on the grid within their team would be massive for Formula 1 and for the fan base in the States. But rules are rules, and I guess they don't want to start fidgeting them now that they've set that. But if we look at the super license points and the drivers that wouldn't make it, you've got drivers like Kimi Raikkonen that wouldn't have made Formula 1 if given the current point system for super licenses when they did. So are we going to lose talent like that because of this point system? And I think that would be definitely detrimental to Formula 1, and so maybe there's some revision needed there from the FIA. Nick De Vries will be taking the place at AlphaTauri. His performance at Monza seems to really speeded up his process of getting into a Formula 1 team, and it was an absolute mega weekend from him. He was driving an Aston Martin in free practice that weekend, get onto a Williams, out-qualified his teammate, got points on his first race, and that really shown the talent that he has, and AlphaTauri will be the perfect place for him to go and hone his skills and build up and potentially move forward. Let's see where he can go and how well he does. Wish him well. He did a brilliant weekend at Monza. Now he's got a whole season next season. AlphaTauri are pretty like the junior team of Red Bull, but like the academy team effectively. They give drivers a chance to prove themselves. They won't just put the pressure on after a bad weekend or two, and so that seems like the perfect place for Nick De Vries to go. I did expect him at Williams, to be honest with you, especially with his Mercedes link and Williams being a Mercedes powered team, but he's going into the Red Bull Driver Academy, and so let's see how that plays out for him. But it's a brilliant move for Nick De Vries. AlphaTauri have also confirmed that Yuki Tsunoda will also be continuing for the 2023 season. I was a bit surprised by that, but they were happy with Yuki Tsunoda's pace and improving over the season. He's had some really good performances for them. He's had 3 10th place finishes so far this season, so he's got the speed. He just needs to be more consistent and pull that together. He needs to scrub off that Tsunami Tsunoda tag that Mario Binotto of Ferrari placed on him, unfortunately for him. But next year's another season. I'm hoping he can finish strongly this season and get some decent points, and maybe AlphaTauri can provide a better car for their drivers next season and push them up the grid. They seem to be falling further to the back of the midfield rather than front runners in a battle with Alpine and McLaren at the moment. Zhou Guanyu has also confirmed a 1-year extension at Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo are stating that they are very happy with Zhu's progress and said he was the best surprise of the season for them, which I found a bit strange given Zhu's performances, but he's done quite well in some weekends, out-qualifying his teammate Bottas. So he's clearly got some pace. Let's see how he gets on next season, but he's got another seat. One seat that I potentially thought was up for threat as well, we're being announced. So where are the places left now? Well, the rumours are that the pressure is on Mick Schumacher at Haas, and Nicholas Latifi and Williams have confirmed that they will be parting ways at the end of this season. Unfortunately for Latifi, it's just not quite worked out for him this season. He started with Williams in 2020 at the Austin Grand Prix. He got points on debut. He got a decent points finish in 2021 at Hungary as well. But since the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where he crashed and caused the infamous safety car at the end of last season in that title decider, he got a lot of death threats, and I think that's impacted his performance on into this season. He really hasn't performed, and then the performance of Nick De Vries out qualifying and getting points off debut on Monza sort of really been the nail in the coffin for his career in Formula 1. It looks like there's no seat for him in Formula 1. Could he move to the Haas team? I very highly doubt it. If I was them, I'd probably keep Mick Schumacher over bringing in Latifi. So it looks like he will be out of Formula 1 for next season. Let's see if he can go away at another series, get his mojo back and fight for a place on the grid for the season after. He certainly showed he's got some ability. I mean, he got a points finish finally this season in Japan this weekend. And so, you know, he's definitely got something about him. He's got the pace, he's scored points before, but it's just sort of this season has been really quite poor, and maybe the death threats and the outcome of at the end of last season really impacted him where it shouldn't have. But that's that really, and so the only seat that's left to fill for next season is the Williams seat currently as it stands. As I said, the Mick Schumacher seat also potentially in the air, but I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of that very soon. The sad news is also that looks like that Daniel Ricciardo will now be out of Formula 1 for 2023. It's such a shame to lose an amazing talent such as him. His character, his speed will definitely be missed on the Formula 1 grid from next season. It almost reminds me of the Perez leaving Formula 1 at the end of the 2020 season, but for Red Bull stepping in and giving him a seat there. It's sad it's not worked out for him at McLaren. Surprised he's not going to take the Williams seat. I'd rather see him on the field in any team rather than being a reserve driver, but he's hedging his bets. It looks like he may be a Mercedes reserve driver for next season. I don't see where that will lead him going forward. I don't see that opening up for a team or a seat at the front. You know, all these teams at the front have got young, successful, fast drivers at the moment in long contracts. I mean, the only seat I can see potentially is if Lewis Hamilton retires, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. He sort of said he wants to carry on for another 5 years, so he won't be going back to McLaren. The Alpine door is now shut. He didn't take that now. And so then we are only looking for a seat towards the back end of the grid. Maybe he doesn't really want to go in the Williams seat. They've not been great for a few seasons now. There's potentially the Haas seat, but he's almost rolling himself out of that. You know, it wasn't a secret that Gunther Steiner of Haas spoke with him when he confirmed his exit from McLaren. But he's almost said that it doesn't look like he'll be on the grid next season. It should be a real shame, but let's hope he can find a way back into Formula 1 for 2024 now. But yeah, that's the driver lineup. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe and comment. Thank you.